We're going to talk about the argument analysis essay assignment. So what I would like for everybody to do right now is to go over into your content here. We're going to go to Unit 3, and we're going to go down to assignment, this right underneath 311. 311, it is everything from 3.1 to 3.11. This is just a reminder. It is due today at 11:59 p.m. 3.12 and all the things that go along with the argument essay assignment or the argument analysis essay assignment, those aren't due until next Tuesday as of right now. We'll see if we need to push anything back, but I think we'll be good to go for next week on Tuesday. All right, so we're going to take a look here. Argument analysis essay assignment. So our second essay assignment, we're going to start it today. We're going to work on it all week. This analysis essay assignment, the length requirement is going to be 750 to 1,000 words, which is about 3 to 4 pages long. We're going to do it in Times New Roman, 12-point font, double spaced. This is going to include a works cited page, which is not included in the page count. Our objective with this essay is to analyze and critique the rhetorical strategies that an author employs in presenting their argument. And we've got some instructions. We're going to begin our essay by drafting an introduction. So you're going to create a hook, just like we did in the first essay. You're going to introduce the topic and article that you're analyzing. That's the second article that you just wrote your second summary over. So you're going to introduce that topic and article. You're going to also have a summary. So that paragraph that you wrote earlier this month, or just a couple of weeks ago, we're going to use that summary paragraph in our essay assignment. And then we're going to transition to our thesis statement, which will evaluate how effective the author was in their argument. So were they effective in persuading their readers, in your opinion? And an example thesis statement will be something like, your author's name establishes credibility through reputable sources and factual data. So this is saying this example thesis would be if an author says they use ethos and they use logos, but they falter in emotional appeals, but they don't have many pathos, examples of pathos in their article, and the lack of pathos detracts from their argument's reliability. So you're going to have an introduction that looks like that. Our body paragraph structure, you're going to have a paragraph for each of the tools in your body. So you're going to give me a paragraph where you talk all about how ethos was used in your article, a paragraph how you talk about how logos was used in your article, and a paragraph where you talk about how pathos was used in your article. And then you'll summarize your findings in a paragraph. So you're going to talk about just in general how those three tools were used together. You'll analyze it, and then you're going to have a conclusion where you restate your thesis in different words and offer insight into the overall effectiveness of your author's argument. All right. So let me give you an example of what it is that we're looking at, what our aim is to do. For example, if this student read an article that looks like this, it was called Cleaning the Final Feminist Frontier. It was an article that appeared in the New Republic, and it was all about how Men still don't do their share of housework. And this is a woman's opinion here. The author, Jessica Gross, wrote this article. This student went in and they have their heading, their title, and they have several paragraphs here that we're going to use as a model. We're going to follow this general, same general outline and structure. And I think to make this easiest, I'd like for everybody to go ahead and click on assignment 3.12. When you get to 3.12, you're going to have a gray writing guide, or outline that we're going to use to build our essay. Now, in addition to this gray outline, you should also go ahead and open up, like go back here into the database. And we should have our copy of our article open too. The article that I'm going to do as my example is homework can lead to repetition of mistakes and it can take a toll on a family. So right now you should have at least 2 tabs open here where you've got your gray writing guide and then your article. All right, so at the top of the gray writing guide, let's go ahead and put your last name up at the top, next to the page number, up in the header. Where your name is, go ahead and put your first and last name, Professor Singleton, English 101. Today's date is the 5th of November, 2024. And this is assignment 3.12. And you can see here, we've got what's going to be our general outline as we scroll through this document. We are going to have 7 paragraphs. We're going to have a paragraph that's an introduction, that's going to have a hook, building context, stating what we believe the author's purpose is, the author's opinion that they give or the position that they take on this topic, and then our thesis statement. Paragraph number 2 is going to be your summary assignment. So that paragraph summary is going to go here in paragraph 2. We're going to have a 3rd paragraph that's going to be all about ethos. You're going to introduce the topic of ethos. You're going to give an overview or a definition of ethos. You're going to pull an example of ethos from your article. You're going to explain the quote. You're going to evaluate how effective or persuasive that quote is, and you're going to have a closing sentence. So that'll be paragraph 3 will be all about ethos. Paragraph 4 is going to be all about logos. You're going to introduce logos. You're going to pull an example of logos. You'll explain the quote, evaluate how effective it was, and give a closing sentence. Paragraph 5 is going to be all about pathos. You're going to do the same thing that you did for logos and ethos. You're going to pull an example of pathos and put it in there. Paragraph 6, this is where you're going to summarize all 3 tools, and you're going to say how effective you think the author, like how good they did in using a balance of all 3 of those tools. Were there equal amounts of logos, equal amounts of pathos, equal amounts of ethos used? And you'll compare that. And you're going to talk about how strong and weak, where there were strengths in the argument, where there were weaknesses. And then the last paragraph is going to be your conclusion. So that's the general outline that we're going to focus on in here to build our paper. Okay, the other thing we can do, because we're going to start with a hook, we can still use Gemini to assist us. If you want to open up Gemini, I'm going to go ahead and open up Gemini. The hook would be something you can use Gemini for to help you brainstorm. Bless you. All right, so I'm in Gemini, you can ask it to help you. So you can say something like, help me brainstorm hooks for an argument analysis essay titled, and you can put in your title of your essay. But homework can lead to repetition of mistakes take a toll on family life. Bounce back here. I'm going to put my title in here, help me brainstorm hooks for an argument analysis essay on, analyzing, I should put that in here, analyzing an essay titled, or an article titled, so it gives me some hooks ideas, just some brainstorming here. In order to grab my reader's attention on this topic, I might have like questions. It's saying like homework, is it a necessary evil or a waste of time? Is it worth the hassle? A friend or a foe? Should students be burdened with hours of nightly homework? Does homework truly enhance learning or does it hinder it? Here are some strong statement hooks. The traditional homework model is outdated and ineffective. Homework can negatively impact a student's mental and emotional well-being. We can say anecdotal hooks here. I can tell a story. Now, again, I'm not asking Gemini to write my hook here, but this at least gives me some brainstorming here. And these are some types of hooks. So maybe I see strong statement hooks that maybe I want more examples of strong statement hooks. I could ask Gemini to give me more examples of strong statement hooks. And it'll give me several here. And I see something here like homework. It's often hailed as a cornerstone of academic success. In fact, it's a counterproductive practice that undermines student well-being. So these just give me some examples to kind of start with. It's a good starting place. So I want to draft a hook right now for my essay that grabs people's attention and gets them interested in my topic. Let me go back here. Maybe I want more intriguing question hooks. Give me more examples. Question. Simple question hooks. Does homework truly benefit students or is it busy work? Is homework a fair and equitable practice for all students? Are students better off with less homework or more free time? So maybe I'm going to start with a question. So I'm going to put here. I don't know why I don't have my connection. There it goes. So maybe I'm going to start off with my own question. I can say, are students actually benefiting from the homework that is assigned? So I want you to take a couple minutes and come up with just a very short introduction. It can be a sentence or two. If you use Gemini, again, if you're using Gemini to help you with this, you will need to go down here to share and export. You're going to click share, and you can put in maybe this entire chat or this prompt and response, but you want to create a link to it. And I would, at the very bottom of your paper, of these outline here, you're going to want to keep track of these notes that you've used here. I'm going to go back. This is, we've got how to cite it up here ahead of 2.12. I'll put that down in unit 3 too. Oops. We want to have the description of the chat prompt, the name of the AI tool, the version of the AI tool, company, date of chat, the URL. So I might say, I want to go into that prompt that I put in. Help me brainstorm hooks. I'll put in my question here that I used. I'm going to put the name of the AI tool, which is Google Gemini, comma, the version of the AI tool. I don't know. See here. Right here. 1.5 flash. It's up at the top. Google Gemini, the version of the tool is 1.5 flash. The company is Google. I guess Gemini is what I put here. Google, the date of the chat is the 15th. So I'm at the 15th November 2024. And then I've got the URL there. So you want to keep kind of a running list at the bottom of your document here, any help that you're getting from Gemini. All right, next is context. This is where you want to go ahead and introduce the author, the article title, the publication. The date. and it gives us an example here. The author's name explores blank in the article published in the year. So let me go back to my article. This is Jeff Johnson. Homework can lead to a repetition of mistakes, take a toll on family life. This is from the Times Colonist newspaper in British Columbia, Canada. So I can draft this and say, Jeff Johnson explores the value of homework in the article homework can lead to repetition of mistakes. Take a toll on family life. Published in the Times Colonist. Victoria, British Columbia. So in Victoria, British Columbia's Times Colonist newspaper. Okay, then you will want to explain in a sentence or two what you believe the purpose of the article is, why the author wrote the article. So I might want to say Johnson a former school superintendent wrote the article to persuade readers of the potential harming effects of homework. Harmful effects, maybe, so harming. Then your next sentence is writing what the author believes about your topic. So I might say he believes that again, if I look at my title, homework can lead to repetition of mistakes and take a toll on family lives. He believes that homework can cause tension within a family unit. On the, you don't have to double space it now. You can if you want, but on this document, it's not necessary. When we move it over to the draft, then we'll want it. Yep, we'll want it double spaced. So and reinforce bad habits. So let me give you a few minutes to kind of fill in these pieces, and then we're going to talk about the thesis statement in just a second. Okay. All right, let's take a look now at the thesis statement. This is the most important piece for this whole document because this thesis statement is what's going to drive your essay. So you are going to write your thesis statement, and this is your opinion, where you're evaluating if the author used the tools of ethos, pathos, and logos effectively to persuade or to convince somebody of their point of view. So you will probably need to go back into your 3.11 where you identified all of these examples of logos, ethos, and pathos in your article. And you're going to count how many you identified. So you're going to count, like, were there 12 examples of logos, 8 examples of ethos, and 15 examples of pathos. And you're going to see how many you've got there. Is there a balance there? Are those numbers mostly the same, or is there one or two of those tools that is widely different than the use of another? So in my article, I found examples of all 3 of my tools. But in my article, there was quite a bit of pathos in there. Like he's talking about an anti-homework rant, calling homework busy work. It extinguishes children's curiosity. He talks about it. So I would want to write my thesis statement where I'm going to evaluate that use. So I would start off with referencing the author to begin with. So I might say Johnson and you can see here, builds credibility through specific techniques, supports their argument with facts, and appeals to emotion. This is saying ethos, logos, and pathos. And I do have examples of all of those. So I might say Johnson builds, and I could credibility through the references, because he does reference researchers and professional journals. to professional research. Johnson builds credibility through the references to professional research, supports his argument with facts or logic, or I want to say what kind of logos he uses. So I go in here, there's a number there. Here's this, another statistic. There's a few statistics. There's also some logic here. So I might say with statistics and logic and appeals to emotion. I don't necessarily have to give a specific one of those. So this front end is where I'm saying, hey, I saw all three examples, that front end of my thesis statement. If you did not see all three examples, then you just list here in the front end the examples that you did see. On the back end of this sentence, we've got a semicolon. And this is where this is stating, this front end is stating facts, like here's what I saw. The back end of your thesis statement is giving your opinion. So I might say, however, and if I think like there's not enough ethos in there, I might say then Johnson's argument could have been made stronger by referencing more experts on the topic. Or I could say, or Johnson's art, maybe I look at it and I see there's not facts. I might say more statistics are needed. However, more statistics are needed to strengthen or support Johnson's opinions in the article. Maybe there wasn't much pathos in there. I might say, however, the Johnson's use of references and statistics leads the reader feeling or leaves the argument feeling cold and could be better supported with more emotion or personal statistics in there. This is where you're making a judgment and even maybe offering an opinion of how the argument could be improved. So I'm going to say at the beginning, here's what I see. I see all three. There's my semicolon. However, some of, and this is actually true for mine, some of his emotional appeals may weaken the argument. So this model up here is just an example. You need to kind of tweak it and tailor it to meet whatever your article demonstrates. And once you've done that, paragraph 2 is going to be your summary of the article, which was assignment 3.7. So you can go back into your 3.7 into that article, and you can copy and paste your 3.7 paragraph here. A reminder in that 3.7 paragraph that you have here. I have my 3.6, but not. In that 3.7 paragraph, that very first, that opening sentence where you introduce the title, author, topic, you can probably leave that opening sentence out and just start with the thesis statement, supporting reasons, counter argument. So I would take all of your sentences from your summary paragraph except for the first one. And you're going to paste those here in paragraph 2. And then we are at 9:06 this morning. So we're going to stop at that point. When we come back to class Thursday, we're going to work on the ethos paragraph, the logos paragraph, and the pathos paragraphs. So we're going to do that on Thursday. Are there any questions? Right now, tonight, all of your 3.1 through 3.11 assignments are due by 11:59 p.m. These remaining assignments I've got as next Tuesday, but it may even be like next Thursday. We may need Tuesday to work as well in here. Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to wait until this week on Thursday. So the next time we come to class, we're going to work on these paragraph 3, paragraph 4, paragraph 5. Any questions for me? All right, we're going to get out just about 5 minutes early here. So you're free to go ahead and go. On Thursday, we're going to continue working on this document right here. Oh.